Tag med mig, wie geht's? Dieter, ich bin Dieter. Dieter's getting old, and because he's getting old, he's realizing things that work and things that don't work. Not for himself, but for, I think, guitar players in general. And so Dieter likes to help. And so this is how Dieter is going to try and help you today. If you're a beginner or intermediate or someone who plays quite well and you're stuck in a rut, whatever. You know, again, more common mistakes. And why, this is why you may not be as good as you want to be, or why you're frustrated, and we'll get into that. So, number one thing is, this is number one thing, just have a good guitar, and you only need one, okay? If you want to play different types of music, then you'll need more guitars, but this is by far the biggest thing that Dieter finds funny. See, it's got to be this or that. Like, this is a really good guitar, right? And if I take this name off, it's still a really good guitar. So you know what? Doesn't matter what's on it. People get too hung up on that. So this is what you do. You get a good guitar. You set it up right, and then, like, you're watching. Most of you watch the wrong videos. Now, I'm not saying to watch my videos, but you're watching the wrong videos because you're watching people that are monetized, so they're trying to make a living off this. So they're trying to sell lessons, or their system, or they're trying to sell a guitar, or all of those, right? Now, some of them may be good. That's fine. But I will tell you, because I know for a fact, we're all different. There's no such thing as equality in skill or talent, or even physicality. So if you think your hands are too small or too big or whatever, that's just an excuse you're making. Or if you think, you're not smart enough or whatever, that's just an excuse you're making. Or if you think this system is better than that system, that's just an excuse you're making. Or you think, maybe, that something speaks to you. So these are the biggest mistakes. So, like, if you want to increase your speed, you know, when you look at people that play really accurately, it's because they practice. And like the classical way, with your thumb behind here. Now, I know this because when I don't do this, I play worse, and when I do it, I get better. My biggest problem is I've got I would say, maybe a slightly better than average interest and degree of talent, but I don't practice enough. I don't play enough because I'm doing other things. I don't care anymore. But if you're one of those younger people that care, I think you do yourself a disservice by honing in on just one or two things, unless that's all you want to do. Like, some of you are impressed by blinding speed, but I've always said, like, you know, slow it down. So, like, and then when you just play a G chord, right? And you know, work on that. But you should be your own best friend and teacher. You should be correcting your own mistakes. So this is what Dieter says. Like, you know, you don't have to sign up for expensive lessons or whatever. If you want to learn classical music and you can't afford a teacher, buy the Aaron Shearer books. They're the best. That's how I learned how to teach myself, because the guy cared, and they're well written. If there are other good books out there, and and there are the systems. Like, there's no one system, but it behooves you, if you want to, especially if you want to write your own stuff, to understand a bit about theory and don't go, theory, right? Everything can be. You ask an advanced mathematician. A good one can almost explain the universe to you with just numbers, like the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio and stuff like that. So don't poo-poo this stuff. I think the biggest mistake most guitarists make, they spend way too much time on the internet. They spend way too much time getting caught up on, oh wow, look what this guy can do, right? But maybe that guy or girl has, you know, what you don't see is 6 years or 7 years or 10 years of practice, when they just lock themselves in their bedroom without a phone on or a TV and just friggin' practiced. I mean, basically, that's all you have to do. You have to just practice and practice intelligently. I've talked about that before. But I think most of you are watching the wrong things. There are a lot of great music, and I'm not going to do the heavy lifting for you. Find these good classical guitarists and watch some of their concerts, because you will learn more from watching a good classical guitarist. I don't care what kind of guitar you play. You'll learn more by watching a good classical guitarist play for 15 minutes than you will by any of these other videos. Because you will see their impeccable technique, because they have to have it. And so, in praise of classic guitars, I mean, they call it classical for a reason. Their music is, you have to have really good facility to play classical music. And you know, I get a kick out of these videos. You know, it's always some young guy, you know, electric guitar. This is the best guitar player in the world. Well, fuck off. To say an electric guitar player is the best guitarist in the world, you seriously, dude, have not seen any classical guitarists. And I will tell you in all honesty, I mean, I like all kinds of guitar. But I would guarantee, when you're talking about musicianship, I would pick a classical guitarist over any other guitarist any day of the week. So anyway, I think that's what you're doing wrong. Because I mean, that's what I do wrong. You know, get a good guitar or 2 or 3 good guitars. Get some good books. Watch some really good people playing the kind of music you like. Like if I wanted to learn how to play, you know, rock guitar leads, I'd watch David Gilmour, because he's my favorite. Right? That's who I'd watch. Or I'd watch, if I wanted to watch country technique, I'd watch Chet Atkins and Vince Gill. So just watch those people. And don't worry about finding some system that works. Like, basically when you're playing an instrument, it's a finite thing. It's like a tool. So this is the thing that operates the tool. So you just have to mechanically get your body working. And I'm not saying like a robot, but you have to know your positioning, and then you'll be able to play with your eyes closed. There are good blind musicians, right? So, you know, train your ear, train your body, and practice. That's what most of us don't do enough of. If you just want to sit around and play 3 chords all day, that's fine. Play them well. You'll be happier when you're playing. So anyway, I mean, that's how I think. I think I told you this before in a video. When I taught years ago, this good guy came in. He was a metal player, and he was really fast. And I looked and I said, well, I don't play that stuff, but I can help you, because I can see what you're doing wrong. You see, best teacher doesn't have to be a best player, and vice versa. And I think I mentioned this before in the video. I had him for a whole year, and his playing went through the roof, and I never played a metal note for him. All I did was watch him, see where he's mixing up. I got him to slow down. This is what I did. And he just kept coming to me for the reinforcement once a week, for a year, for 6 months or something. I got him to change his hand position, corrected his fingering. So basically, I spent 6 months breaking a bad habit he had developed, and then the other 6 months just reinforcing his newfound skill. He had it there all the time. He was, you know, it's like, you know, you have a car engine or transmission that gets stuck between 3rd and 4th gear, right? You just need someone to show you how to shift it more smoothly. I think that comes from me because I'm a bit of a visual artist. So I have that, I can look at things and see what's off. Doesn't mean I can do it myself, like demonstrate what's off. But if I slow it down, yeah, I can. So observe for yourself. You're playing for yourself, right? So maybe spend less time watching videos of pretty girls just rehashing stuff that other people have done, and people just playing blindingly fast with no musicality. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But the only way you're going to get there, you're not going to improve by watching girls with big boobs falling over their guitars, or with legs up to their crack, to their camel toe. You're not going to learn how to play guitar watching it. And you're not going to learn how to read music without buying a book on theory. Right? And you're not going to be able to get good at speed without proper placement of your hand, and just mostly it's repetition, right? You look at anybody who's good at anything, whether it's sports or anything, they repeat it and they repeat it and they repeat it, but they don't keep repeating mistakes. That's the difference between just practicing. You can waste time practicing, or you can practice intelligently. You learn more by making a mistake initially and then correcting it, and then correcting it, and then you get to the point where you're not correcting it anymore. It becomes a habit. That's Dieter's advice. Wiedersehen, happy plucking, and happy drawing, and happy locking yourself in a room. If you want to get good, lock yourself in a room for 3 to 4 hours a day. Right? I don't know if any of you know who Colin James is, but he's from my hometown. But a friend of mine, a girlfriend of mine, went to school with him. And the guy, when he got home from school, he locked himself in his room and he played his guitar 6 hours a day. That's what he did. And that's, if you're not doing that, you're not, that's why you're probably not as good as you would like to be. So it's pretty simple. It's like the old computer programming, garbage in, garbage out. If you're only going to put in 20 minutes a day, don't expect much unless you've got God gift and talent. I had this one guy, and also know your own physical things. I had this one guy who bitched at me, and he was an upholsterer. He had these thick hands, and I have big hands, but his fingers were as thick as his thumb. So he went out and bought an Eric Clapton signature guitar, and I said, well, that was a waste of money. He got mad at me, and he bought a Les Paul. So that was a waste of money, because physically